This is the XHTML C exercise, and I'm going to try to give you a little bit of help working through this. Let me talk about it a little bit first. All right, you're going to build a 4-page website with a text-based navigation, and it's going to have the following folder structure. So these examples here are not just examples, they're actually what I'm looking for in a final finished product. So here's your folder structure. Your folder structure should look very much like this. This used to have a mistake. I think I corrected it. Looks like I did. So let's just go over it. Week 3, you're going to have a week 3 folder. Inside of a week 3 folder, you're going to want to put an XHTML C folder. And inside of XHTML C, you're going to have several other folders. One called Alta Vista, one called Google, and one called Yahoo. And additionally, you could have one called Images. And under the Alta Vista, you should have an Images folder with images in it. Those are going to be images that will be used for the Alta Vista homepage. So under Alta Vista, you also will have an index.html file. Now let's look at the Google folder. It also will have an images folder with images within it. These images will be used on the Google homepage. So under this Google folder, you're also going to have a page called index.html. But wait, can we have more than one index.html? Well, of course you can. They just need to be in their own separate folders. Okay? This index.html is for the Alta Vista page. This index.html here is for the Google page. Okay? And these images will be images used on this Google's index page. Now, here's an images folder. What I would place under these are common images, images that are used across all 3 pages, if you have any. Here's a Yahoo folder. It also has an images folder with images within it and an index.html folder. Now, under your XHTML C folder, if you follow this line all the way down to the bottom is an index.html. What is that? Well, that's really the home page for your XHTML C website. Here is what the home page should look like. Alright, it's going to have a text-based navigation up here across the top. Home, My Alta Vista, My Google, and My Yahoo. These are the items that you're going to want. Home will refer to this page that we're looking at now. My Alta Vista will take you to an Alta Vista page that you create. My Google and My Yahoo will take you to a Google and Yahoo page that you create. And the images below will take you to your individual search pages that you create. Alta Vista, when you click it, this will be an image link and it'll take you to your Alta Vista page. Now, down at the very bottom, you're going to have a W3C XHTML 1.0 logo that you'll need to put in your page. Don't worry, I'll show you how to do that later as we work through the code. It's pretty easy to do. It's copy and paste. This is what your page should look like. Here are the individual pages and what they should look like. This is your Alta Vista page. I probably won't be able to get it all on the page, but I'll get most of it. Up at the very top, it's got that same text-based navigation that you see on the home page. Guess what? Every one of these 4 pages is going to have that same text-based navigation. So here's what I would do. To start with this project, I would start with this page right here, because all of your other pages are going to be modeled similarly after this one. So create a division with the div tag and name it. Give it an ID. ID equals div navigation. Okay, and that's why I put these words out here, div navigation in red, because I intend for you to use that as your ID. You can use your own ID name, that's fine. Just make sure you do use one. And that division will encompass all of these text links. And by the way, I get a lot of questions about this up and down vertical symbol. It's called a pipe, and it's on your keyboard up above the enter key. There's a backslash key. If you'll find that, if you hold shift and hit your backslash key, it'll form a pipe. So, for example, I would type home space shift backslash space and then type my Alta Vista. Now, look at the div Alta Vista division that's below the text-based navigation. All right, you could call it div Alta Vista. And it's going to contain these things: visit Alta Vista here and an image. Guess what? Remember, you're going to be able to name all of your divisions by using the ID attribute. Well, guess what? I think you should do the same thing with the image. In fact, it's part of the requirements for this assignment that you ID or use the ID attribute for every one of your images. Don't worry, I'll show you that too. Here's a horizontal rule, and then another division, and another division down here, and then finally your div for your validator logo. Let's look at the Google page. You're starting to see a common theme here. They all look the same. They all have these divisions. So let's go back. I'm going to close that one, and let's look at the Alta Vista page again. I named this division here div Alta Vista. However, you could name it, if you wanted to do it in a generic way, with an ID of div 01. Instead of div how stuff works, you could name it div 02. Instead of div weather, you could name it div 03. Okay? And the reason that you might want to do this is because it's generic, and when you make a copy of this page, like I'm going to ask you to do, it will easily work itself into the next page. Here is what the Yahoo page looks like. Same stuff, text-based navigation, and 1, 2, 3, 4 divs. Exactly the same, just with some content. Now I get questions sometimes, does it have to be these same images? No, I don't care. Use what images you want, okay? It just doesn't matter at all to me. I'm not married to Snopes.com and Wired Magazine. So go find your own. Or you can use mine if you just want to duplicate the page to get a sense of certainty with this assignment. Okay, the skills that you're working on: creating an index.html file, and just knowing that you can have several of them, one in each folder if you like. And I just want you to understand from this exercise when to create an index.html page, how to do it, when it's useful, why. You're going to work on folder creation. That's a good skill to have. Hope you've all had your comp literacy course, computer literacy. Hyperlinks, image links, absolute and relative URLs. There they are. Remember from the first set of slides of first day? Download and save images. You're going to have to go find you some images. They're not provided with this assignment. You're going to have to use the ID attribute, not only for divisions, but also for images. You're going to use the div tag. You're going to use the HR tag. You're going to validate your pages using the W3C validator. And then you're going to also title every one of your pages. Okay, so those are the basics. Now, here are the instructions. I'll let you read through that, and I will let you just get familiar with the assignment by doing so. And down at the bottom, I'm creating sample vids for you. This is the first of them, so these will change. It may look different at some future point in time. The next video, we'll get started creating the XHTML for this site.